Welcome to the Tavern Dillard Podcast, y'all guys. Season 5's Episode 9 of the Tavern Dillard Podcast. Me, I'm Tavern Dillard. Mowing, edging, grass cutting legend. It's the 2023. I ain't never had a 2023 before. This is my first time, and I'm only just a week and a half in or so. How's yours going? I sure hope it's going good. How them New Year's resolutions? You quit on them yet? You know it don't take long. You say, oh, you know what? I think I do like them apple frittlers after all. Maybe I didn't need to cut them down from 4 a week to 3 a week kind of thing, or however it was, for you. But I'm doing pretty good. One of my New Year's things I said, I'm going to drink more water, a little more water intake. But doing that too, I thought, you know what, why stop there? So I decided to up my intake of sweet tea and Dr. Pepper too, and that's going pretty good. It's going real good, I'd say. The thing about me is I like, I get thirsty. I like something to, quench my thirst when I'm parched. And a Dr. Pepper, they hit the spot. Ice cold Dr. Pepper. Thing about me is I'll take something to drink sometime over dessert. Like there are times I'll choose ice cold Dr. Pepper over a donut. Even in the winter times. I like it. I love it. I want some more of it, kind of thing. So here we are, Season 5, Episode 9 of the podcast. Winter sports are starting up. More on that in a little bit. Now, spring, summer for the softball, that's when, that's like the main season. That's when it's game on. That's like, you start getting your haunches stretched now. Cannonball season around the corner, big league softball season. They got winter stuff going on, like I said, but that stuff's just around the corner, the big time. Main spring, summer sports. Went on a date with cricket this week to the bait and tackle. Now, I don't know what you think about that, but Rance Farnhart, he run the bait and tackle, and they got a little restaurant out there. He make real good fish and chips. Like, he know how to put together. So you may say, a date to the bait and tackle, that ain't Tabby, you need to take her somewhere else kind of thing. Well, I'll tell you right now, the thing about it is, you heard that old saying, it's not what you doing, but it's who you with. Well, I'll tell you this right now. I was with cricket, but then the bait and tackle is a beautiful place for a date. And I got a little more detail on that a little bit. But the thing is, Rance, that's Jerry Don and Sybil Farnhart's boy. He's a buddy of mine. But his parents, they business folks. They run the flea market in town. But Jerry Don used to run a restaurant years ago. They had a plate, like a little thing called the bacon train. It was a whole bacon dish. People still talk about that. So they know what they're doing. And then Rance, he picked up the business thing from his folks, but also the cooking thing. And that was the plan today. And they don't open real early. They kind of late lunch, and then they don't stay open real late. Kind of afternoon, late lunch, early supper kind of thing they done. And then they open earlier if you just need snacks or bait, stuff right there by the lake if you're going fishing or whatever. So we get out there today, me and Cricket, and it's, little after lunch, a little bit, and Rance, you could tell he flustered. Like, I've known him long enough to know when I look at a fella and he flustered, just like he's thinking about stuff. And there's a little bit of mess, out behind the bait and tackle. They got these trash cans out there, and, them varmints, they get into it. Possums get into trash cans, skunks get into it, coons do a lot. And I think, you do the cure-all for how do you keep varmints out of your trash cans. Well, you put a rock on the lid, right? But then some of them varmints, they figure it out. They figure out how to get a rock off the lid. Maybe they work in teams. I don't know how they do it. But they determine, they want something bad enough, they go figure out how to do it. Well, he had apparently 2 trash cans, he said. By the time I got there, they standing back up, and a lot of the trash was put back. He still had a little work to go, because it got strung out toward the water. And, you got families going out to the lake, little kids, people running barefoot out there. You don't want to step in something like that. Because that's his livelihood. The bait and tackle, and then that whole area by the lake right there, it's one of them things where people want to go and enjoy themselves. And if word gets out, hey, they got stinky garbage just thrown about there, man. The raccoons is running that place now. Then people may not come there, and then, that's going to affect what they call Rance's bottom line in the business world. So he thinking about that, and he want to take care of his customers, and he mad at these whatever skunks, wild pigs, raccoons. I don't know, probably not a squirrel. They ain't that strong. They smart, but I don't know, maybe 50 of them tip over that trash can. But he's mad because they took the garbage and then they made a mess with the garbage. So the garbage just create more garbage kind of thing. And he's just hot because that moves back everything he got to do today. Because he show up to, fire up them fryers to get that fish going for lunch and kind of thing. And then all of a sudden he got to get back there and do an hour or so cleanup that he didn't expect to do. So I get over there, I'm like, Ranch, you okay? He goes, man, I don't know what it is, Tabin. He goes, but I got to catch these varmints. Well, Donnie Wayne Chambliss, he worked at the repair shed right on that same lot, like 100 yards away from the bait and tackle. He goes, you got them cameras? You got to check them cameras. Donnie Wayne tell him to check them cameras. That's security cameras you put up at businesses kind of thing. Well, Rants do have 2 cameras, one toward the front door, one toward the back door. But if you ain't crossways in front of them, he don't have a camera on the trash cans. Let's put it that way. So you don't see what's actually getting into them trash cans on them cameras. But he said, well, Donnie Wayne's like, maybe you see somebody, the skunk or the raccoon or whatever it is, going to walk by your camera, and then you say, okay, well then you put 2 and 4 together, and you say, well, that thing that walked by in front of the camera is probably the thing that knocked that thing over. And then you know what you're working with, you can come up with a better plan of how to catch them. Well, maybe just give them peace of mind. I don't know. So he's doing that, and Cricket's with me. We was there for lunch, but Rance ain't got the stuff ready yet. We ain't mad at it because we were going to do a little later lunch anyway. And that bait and tackle shop, he really, I'm telling you, he businessman. He got it fixed up, their stuff in there. Cricket's like, I'm going to do a little poking around here because she want to do shopping because it's her parents' anniversary. And he got keychains in there. He got blankets. Of course, he got snacks. He got jewelry. He got all kinds of things. So Cricket's, she's like, I'll be in here tabbing. I was like, okay, I'll holler at you a little bit kind of thing, because me and Donnie Wayne and Rance, me and Donnie Wayne, we just listening to Rance, but because he got them woes. He got them woes about, boy, these varmints getting into my stuff and setting my day back like an hour and a half. I ain't got started on the work I want to do because I'm doing this work I got to do. So I was like, well, Donnie Wayne said, hey, you got them cameras, though, don't you? He goes, well, yeah, I got that one on front door backyard. He said, well, why don't you look at them? Let's go in that control room kind of thing or whatever, and let's see what we can see. I was like, well, it's worth a shot, Rance. He goes, well, I guess so. So we get in there, and boy, start feeling like a detective a little bit. You feel like you in the back room looking at security, and you about to solve a mystery. So we looking. They got the time, so you know what time, the raccoon ran by or whatever. Well, about 3 a.m., something go by. Rewind that, Donnie Wayne says. So I'm looking like bank at the security camera footage, in the little room Rance has got there. Boy, and I tell you right now, we seen something. So we, Rance did what Donnie Wayne said, and he backed that thing up. He rewinded it. Something went about again, and then Donnie Wayne says, "Is that Bigfoot?" And I was like, I don't think that's Bigfoot. I ain't never seen Bigfoot out here personally. And B, that's a small little fella, but it was a person. And I look at it, I say, but that guy's, small and wiry like me. And then Donnie Wayne turned and looked at me, then Rance turned and looked at me, and I was like, I wasn't out here, y'all guys. I wasn't out here at 3 a.m. knocking over your trash cans, Rance, if that's what you're thinking. But I mean, if we trying to compare this to the specifics we have on Bigfoot, whatever that is, that ain't a Bigfoot, kind of thing. Well, he rewind it one more time, try to slow it down, get a look, and I'm looking at that camera, I'm looking at that footage, just kind of bank, and I just say it. I say it like I see it. I say, Brett. And Donnie Wayne says, how's that? I was like, that's my brother. And Rand's like, that is your brother. What in the world is he doing here? I was like, your guess is as good as mine. What in the world is he doing anywhere? Getting into trouble. Nothing surprised me that he does, except a hard day's work. So who knows, y'all guys? And he goes, well, man, why is he knocking over my trash cans back there and strolling them about kind of thing? I was like, I don't really know, but I mean, maybe we can go out there and find clues, now that we solved that part of the mystery. I mean, we pretty much just full on detective mode at this point. So we know who it is. We go back outside. We look around for footprints. We see my brother's footprints, and that ain't no mystery. It's like, I know he got feet. I know him his whole life. Ever since I knowed him, he had feet, and he wears shoes a lot of the time. So I was like, well, we ain't really finding nothing that's going to tell us more than what we already know by that video camera. That's like, he was there. He didn't drop no note that says I was here because of whatever. We don't know. So about that time, we just kind of pacing the property there. And, Rance is just trying to get his head around everything right now. He's just hot. And he's having a hard, because he got to open up that restaurant and he got to get everything going with the bait and tackle. And he can't just be mad all day, right? But he's just trying to come down off this frustration that apparently my brother Brett had caused him. So we over there, and I don't know if you watch them detective shows, but then comes this point in a detective show where they say, and then we got our lucky break. It's like, I don't know, it was a lucky break. It just happened. Well, this is the point in this mystery where we got what you would call the lucky break. Because who comes around the corner there to the back of the bait and tackle where me and Rance and Donnie Wayne Chambliss are looking at footprints and just hands on our hips, kind of shaking our head like, I don't know what he's doing. But my brother Brett show up. He don't look like he slept a wink. His hair's all messed up. He stank. He smell like garbage. I was like, Brett, what in the world? He goes, what's going on, guys? I was like, and I know on them detective shows, they ask all these smart questions to try to get some confession out of that. I ain't got time for that. Let's just get to, I was like, Brett, what in the world were you doing here at 3 a.m? And he just said, she wants a zoo. And Donnie Wayne said, what in the world are you talking about, Brett? Why are you dumping over trash cans? And he just looked at, he goes, she wants a zoo. And I was like, Brett, listen here. We ain't got no time for you taking things sideways about something that don't have nothing to do with what we talking about here. You came here and knocked over trash cans at 3 a.m. Rance over here working, trying to pick everything up, and now you show up stanky and disheveled, and you saying she wants a zoo. Why did you knock over the trash cans? He's like, I had to catch a possum. Now Rance has gone from mad to confused. He's looking at Brett like, okay, I know the feller did it, and he ain't denying that he did it. Now he's telling me he want to catch a possum. So Rance is kind of like, now I need to know this story. So I don't know when them fryers are getting cranked up, but Rance need to sit here and get this thing done. So he just say, he goes, why are you trying to catch a possum, Brett? He goes, Bailey Jean, say she want she want a zoo. And I was like, who's Bailey Jean? He goes, it's a gal I met, and she want a zoo. And I'm like, well, what does a possum have to do? She goes, she wants a possum, she wants a skunk, and she wants an elephant in that zoo, and I'm gonna catch them for her. And Rance is like, how are you trying to catch a possum? What's that got to do with making a mess at the bait and tackle? And he goes, I use that garbage as bait. So Brett tore open them garbage bags and just scattered them everywhere. And his plan, he said, was to jump on the back of a possum when it got over to that trash. I said, Brett, did you catch a possum? He goes, they pretty fast, Tavin. I couldn't catch him. And I was like, so you just get up out of that garbage pile and walk away? And you go, well, I guess I'm done here after you done made a mess. He goes, yeah, because I had to go figure out how to get that skunk. And I didn't want to ask about the elephant, what his plan is for that. But here we are. And it's like, I was like, Brett, Rance had to clean all this up. About that time, Cricket come out. And, because Rance is the one working inside, if somebody working, and she got stuff she want to buy. And she about to say something to Rance, but then she sees my brother, and she just say, and she smell him probably before she see him. And she go, oh, Brett, you need to find yourself a shower. And he just turned to Cricket, and he just say, she wants a zoo. Well, Cricket know my brother well enough to know that it ain't worth engaging in no conversation at that point. So she just looked at Rance. She goes, Rance, can you ring me up for some of these things? He goes, yeah. So Rance just snapped out of it. Like he turned on, like he got enough answers to where he's like, fine, that's the deal. Apparently them rocks on the trash can lids work, except for my brother Brett. If my brother Brett can stay out of there, he gonna be okay. So he go in to ring Cricket up. And I'm out there with Brett. I was like, boy, you got to figure out something else to do, buddy. I mean, I don't know how you going to get a zoo together for whoever. He goes, it ain't whoever, it's Bailey Jean. I met her 2 days ago. I was like, Brett, you out here chasing animals at 3 a.m. for some gal you met 2 days ago. She told you want a zoo, and that's enough for you to go catch animals that is running around wild like a skunk? That's going to be a mess. And he goes, no, it ain't. And then I look at Brett, head to toe, stinky, sleep deprived. I was like, it already is a mess, Brett. You need to go look in the mirror. He goes, well, I wouldn't see a possum if I look in the mirror, and that's what I need to see today. And then he off. I don't know where he went, and I don't know how he got there. But I go in the bait and tackle, and Cricket's getting runged up for the stuff she bought. Got a beautiful pair of bass earrings for her mama for their anniversary. I'll tell you, they got everything there. Chip off the old block, Rance. I mean, he's got the stuff like you seen that flea market Jared on a Civil Run. You think, well, he come by it honest, you know, kind of thing like that away. So we got in there and we had, you know, Rance finally got after that food. It was a little later we expected, but Cricket liked shopping and we solved a mystery. And it was like a murder mystery dinner at that point, except it wasn't a murder. That wasn't a mystery. And it was like a late lunch, not a dinner. But we had a good time out there. Fish and chips was as good as ever. I mean, sweet tea was wonderful, you know, and I was keeping my New Year's resolution on the intake of sweet tea too. So all kind of wins come out, and isn't that life? There's some tough times, but at the end of it, and the smoke clears, a lot of good can come out of it. Boy, that date to the bait and tackle was a hoot and a half, and Cricket got anniversary presents for her parents. We got a good meal out there. And then my brother Brett, like, I don't know where he went, but apparently after we saw him, he tried to steal a roll cage out of Donnie Wayne's shed. He didn't get too far. Donnie Wayne caught him, and it's a roll cage is pretty heavy. Now, why Donnie Wayne has that in the repair shed, I don't know, because I can't believe that anybody want a roll cage on their riding lawnmower, but maybe they do. But Brett didn't get too far, and then off he go again. Where we'll see him next, I do not know. Well, will we see him? I'm sure. I don't know where he's going to find an elephant. And I don't even know if he's going to see. I mean, 2 days of a friendship's a long time for him, so maybe he ain't even talking to that gal anymore. I don't know. But he's having a hard time getting a zoo put together. He didn't go to school for zoos, and I didn't go to school for detective work, but apparently some of it come by natural because, you know, I helped Rance, and me and him, Donnie Wayne, figure out a mystery out by the bait and tackle today, and I was happy to help. Good food, too. I didn't get a discount, but I didn't ask for a discount, didn't expect no discount. I'd help Rance solve a mystery anyway, kind of thing. And I like helping, you know, his business go. I'll be down there more this year because I'm a no-pro fisherman. He got snacks there. He got water there. He got bait and tackle. I can fish and eat. I mean, that's a good day right there. And I told y'all guys winter sports is coming around. Well, I got some breaking news. Everybody loves breaking news. Well, here's this. Tabbins Lawn Care Services is sponsoring a T-ball team. Now, the thing about that is, I ain't coaching the team. Me and Shane Grubbs, that's Cheryl Grubbs' husband. You know, Shane and Cheryl, they run Donut Goes in town, a donut store. And he coaching the team because they got a little boy on there that's going to be, I think it's Perry Lee Grubbs is a little boy. I call him Shane Jr. because it's easier to remember, but he on the team, and since I sponsored the team, I said, okay, I'll also help. I like assistant coach, you know, tell them little fellas where to run, kind of thing. So the season ain't started yet, but that's around the corner. There's a little T-ball this winter, and that'll get me ready. I mean, I got to run as an assistant coach too, you know, help them little fellas know how to get in shape and that kind of thing, and it's gonna get me ready for the softball season. I mean, as far as I know, I'm going to be on Bud's Burger Shed again, and we may have a similar team. I don't know if everybody's got the time to be on the team, if we're going to have new players or not, but I figure the regulars, you know, they in it to win it, so they be back, but we'll see. So there's a lot going on this winter, and there's a lot that was going on in town this past week. Eventful. I mean, you just say, hey, I got an easy, you know, just a date with my gal out at the bait and tackle. Fish and chips, we're going to eat and leave. It ain't never that simple, and it wasn't that simple this week. But I tell you this much, I'm sure glad that you joined me on the Tab and Dillard podcast. Episode 9, so we go 15 episodes every season if you just join us. So we got a few more before season 5 ends into February. So that's how that go. You can check the show notes today if you want. There's a lot of things there, ways to keep in touch, which I'll talk about in a second. And obviously, if you need some gear, there's the Tabbins Lawn Care Services shirt, mowing edge and grass cutting legend. Got the hat too. Of course, the No Pro hoodie that came out in the fall, and it's keeping folks warm right now. It's Burger Shed hoodie. Got Donut Gold shirt. I mean, the shirt I'm wearing right now for this podcast video, if you watch it on the YouTubes, you know, it's the pig shirt, but it's the long sleeve for that colder weather. You'll see that link in the show notes for merchandise. Also, Tabbins Honey from Bees. I teamed up with Bee House Honey, and y'all heard of it before. It's honey that's from bees. And my face is on the label, so it's like we eating together. If you need to put that on a biscuit or drop it in your tea or wherever you eat your honey, go for it. You'll see that there, but also ways to stay in touch. You can text me, 501-322-6249. You can also email me, tabandillard@gmail.com. Folks reached out recently about being guests on a podcast or radio show kind of thing. That's what this is. This is the Tab and Dillard podcast. It's like a radio show for your ears. And that's where tabandillard@gmail.com. That's the best way. Folks, DM me on Instagram. That's a good place to start. Stuff can get buried on Instagram, so if you want to talk to me about being on podcast. Another TV show reached out for me to just be a guest maybe soon. So folks have got like stuff like that they want to ask about. Hey, can you do? I usually try to make time for that stuff, so you can reach out or you just want to holler at me, tell me how you're doing. I'd love to hear from you. Appreciate y'all listening here on the Tab and Dillard podcast. If you're on the iTunes or the Apple Podcast, whatever they call it, you can rate there and you can leave a comment, and that helps like me to promote the podcast. Say, hey, other people other than me think this might be a good idea. Maybe listen to it, listen to what they say about it. So that's helpful. Or whatever platform you listen on, if you can, leave a comment or a rating, that's helpful. I appreciate y'all. I mean, that's bottom line. I mean, if we just getting down to the New Year's brass tacks, appreciate y'all guys. I hope you had a good week. And hey, listen here. If you ain't tried to catch a possum for a zoo by tearing open garbage bags behind a bait and tackle this week and getting stinky and dirty and not even catching a possum, you having a pretty good week. Me, I'm Tab and Dillard. This is the Tab and Dillard podcast. Till next time, y'all guys. We'll see you later.